Hi everyone, Tyler Sky123 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the second Doctor story, The Invasion. Now this is an 8-parter, so it's quite a big watch, just on that premise, and it's the only 8-parter in Doctor Who's history, actually, oddly enough. But yeah, anyway, and it's also the longest Cyberman story. So yeah, anyway, I love this story, I honestly do. It's one of my favourites. I think it's, in a way, my favourite Cyberman story. You remember me saying in the 2-minute Cyberman review, if you've seen that, I think The Invasion is the better story, but the what's it called? Sorry, the 2-minute Cybermen is a better story for the Cybermen themselves, a better Cyberman story in a way. And I do still stand by that in this, but I really do love this story. I think the musical score, for a start, is amazing. I think it really does capture this, not necessarily spy essence, but it just gets this real thriller mood across. It's very unique to this serial, so I do love that part to begin with. And it really just creates a very tense atmosphere. Also, Tobias Vaughan is a great villain, and he has quite a nice double act with Packer, I think. No, Kevin Stoney, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the actor who played Packer. But yeah, I think they both are great in this. Patrick Troughton, my favourite Doctor, is as great as ever in this story. He gets his fair share of funny moments. So there's just a scene where he's in the sewers and he flips a coin to decide to go one way, looks that way, and then goes the other way. And there's just quite a bit of nice simple logic kind of things, because when the Doctor says there's one place the Cyberman won't be, and that's in the sewers, and that is very true. So I just like little bits like that. I think they don't make the story for me, but they're just nice to have in there. Yeah. JB and Zoe, quite good in this. One thing I must point out about Jamie is that when he disappears at the end of the last episode, it doesn't really feel right, if you know what I mean. I think, yes, he deserved a holiday, and, you know, all the regulars do once in a while, but I really think they should have tried not to make it so that it's at the end, or the start of the serial, because, then it kind of just ruins it in places. So, yeah, that's that. Of course, we now have the Brigadier back, who is now the Brigadier. Whereas before he was the Colonel in the Web of Fear, which I've not seen yet. I'm hoping to get that on DVD when it comes out. So, yeah, that's that. And the Cybermen themselves. Now, their design is quite nice. Their voices are okay. They don't feature a whole lot in this. They're more used as a terror weapon. I do like, because they don't appear until the end of part 4, really, and that's halfway through the serial. But I think the lashings of atmosphere, the great villain in Kevin Stoney, and just so many cool elements carry it through up to that point. And then when the Cybermen just come in, it manages to sustain itself for the last parts. Also, the last part, it's quite tense. It's not kind of like a tense in the conventional big battle or whatever. It's just they're sitting there waiting for the Russian rocket to strike, and the music, of course, helps this. But not just the music, but it just all seems to come together very nicely, that part, I think. The Cybermen themselves, once they get out and about, they do have some nice scenes in like in the sewers and whatnot, and in the part 8, and I think it was part 7 as well, the battle scenes between them. So yeah, that's that. Also, I like what's it called? Benton. This is the first appearance of Benton, and I do like Benton a lot. So he's a corporal in this. So the Brigadier is quite a serious character in this. He's not played for laughs, like it was for a bit of the Pertwee era. See, I do like him in this. It's nice to have Nicholas Courtney back. It's odd that he only has 2 serials, and the second Doctor you seem to kind of remember him having more, just because of their relationship. And it kind of does, because you've got the 3 Doctors and the 5 Doctors. But you can't really count that in a way, because it's actually part of the second Doctor's run. So that's that. And just trying to think what else there is. It's quite interesting scenes between the Doctor and Jamie at some points. And one thing that's interesting is that the Cybermen kind of like have these human agents with metallic bodies like Vaughn and whatnot. They still look human, so people are saying, why don't they do that? Why don't the Cybermen do that to invade? Well, I think that's kind of hinting, because a lot of the time in the old series, it was hinted that the conversion to being a Cyberman is quite a slow series. It's not just kind of like a quick 5 seconds in an upgrade chamber like it is in the new series. It seems to be a bit more they replace the parts when they need to be replaced. So they replaced his body. So I guess eventually the skin will rot away, and well, this is getting a bit morbid. And they'll replace it with metal and whatnot. So yeah, that's my theory at least as to what it is. I think it's kind of like that Cyberman, the conversion to a Cyberman is quite a slow thing. Also, another point of interest is that the Cybermen don't have time travel. Yeah, this is set in 60s or 70s. It's never really stated explicitly, but later stories with the Brigadier and whatnot reveal that it is before 1977. It's a bit of a mess. And the Web of Fear is apparently some other time. But yeah, I don't know really. It's just a bit odd the placement of this story. But anyway, what I was going to say is, oh goodness, I've lost my train of thought now. So, oh, I am really sorry, I've forgotten what I was saying now. Oh yeah, the Cybermen placement in this story. So, if this is in the 70s or 60s, then it would be set before the the destruction of Mondas. So, and the Cybermen aren't like they were on Mondas. So I think there are, and they don't have time travel. Some people say that Planet 14 would be Telos, but I think that's unlikely, because, well, that's set quite far in the future from this. So my guess is that this is kind of like a full-on invasion force that left Mondas. I'm guessing that another point, just before this in Cyberman's own history, Doctor and Jamie must have had another Cyberman adventure. Not sure whether it was with Zoe or Victoria or whatever. But yeah, they obviously had one of them, which is how they were recognised. And yeah, and then the Cybermen left behind, once the fleet is destroyed, are kind of like the remnants. They're the scientists left to do all the stuff and whatnot, and then they go and pilot Earth into pilot Mondas towards Earth, and they get destroyed. And then we move on to the moon base, where the last survivors are trying to cling on. Meanwhile, another and they get destroyed. Meanwhile, another group of Cybermen survivors from the 10th planet or whatever set up the trap on Telos, and yeah, that's that. And it all goes a bit odd from there, but yeah, I think the general idea is grasped by everyone. So yeah, that's that. And think that's pretty much all I have to say, really. Excellent story, 10 out of 10, I do love it. It's got a couple of flaws, but, I mean, I can't really drag it down for that. It's just minor things. It's very atmospheric. Musical score is great, as I said, and yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.